Welcome to Not So Granola. I'm Christine, and today I'm going to show you how to clean the wax out of your jar and clean your jar so you can repurpose it for something else. I am notorious for buying jars, not for the contents, but for the container. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some alcohol. 70% is fine. I prefer the 91% because we want to clean that black soot off that top there. And I put this on a wax warmer just to help clean it off. And I'll show you how to remove that label later. Okay. Our yucky sooty stuff is removed. Now we're going to get some boiling water and pour it in. Now there are going to be some jars that have a bit of a lip to them. You want to make sure that the water goes above and beyond that, because what we're going to do, that's good enough for this, what we are going to do is pop out the disc that ends up floating on the top. We're going to let this cool. This is why the wax warmer, just to kind of speed it up. You don't need that. That's just one of those things that I do. As you can see, let me see if I can get in a little bit closer for you. It's like bubbling up to the top. You know, that's what it does, and all of that will come up to the surface. And so this thick part at the bottom here will end up right up here at the top, and the water is just going to help make it easier to remove it. So I will come back as soon as that's cooled and show you what to do with this. Now the one thing that I do have to say is this is fantastic for reusing, like in your wax warmers. You know, you don't have to throw it out. You can if you want to, but I don't. I reuse it because I really like the smell. So we shall return. Okay, so we are going to go from this to this to this. We reuse our candle jars. I am notorious for buying a jar for its container, not its contents. However, this, I do like the contents. It smells really awesome. I am a huge fan. Hazelnut cream, bought at Walmart. Although that's not the only candles I will get. Like I said, I have been known to actually purchase candles that I didn't like the smell of them because I really wanted the jar. So we have gone through the whole melting process. As you can see, this jar it's still warm. The water all sealed in there. This is what they used to do for canning. They used to use paraffin wax to seal their canning. I'm not going to do too much on it. I'm not sure that I trust this soft. Now this is still, as you can see by my little fingerprint there, this is still soft and warm. You can wait till it completely cools, but this is what I like to do. I will take a sharp knife and just kind of go around the edge. This helps to just reduce the amount of residue that's left behind. Woo, and there we go. Now I will take a plate with the paper towel. Let's go ahead and make a little room here. Put all our wax right here on the paper towel. I don't use paper towels very often, but there are some times that they are handy. I'll take this. Oops. All right, before I do this, I will get a container. I'm going to do it right over this because I am such a mess maker. Pour off some of that water. You see, messies? Sorry about my hand in the way. Now, see, if I'd let that cool a little bit longer, it would have been more of a solid, but I'm impatient. Get all that goodies. Now, I have already taken out the wick placeholders there. They're usually there with adhesive. I try to do it while it's still warm just because they usually use a glue. It just makes it a little easier to get it out. Don't recommend doing that unless you're very, very careful. But I don't want to lose any of that goodness. Now, I'm going to leave that there, let it finish cooling, or I could go ahead and just do a quick kind of little snippet like that to get them ready for my wax warmer. So I want to use up all that smell, all that yummy, yummy goodness. And those will clean, those, like I said, will solid. Okay, now that I've got a nice mess all over my hand. Okay. Oh, and it smells so nice, so I'll move that out of the way. Let's go back to this. Now, while it is still warm, let's move this out of the way also. I am going to wipe out some of that wax residue just to help make it a little bit easier on myself. I don't want to clog up my drains or anything like that. So I try to get as much as possible. And if we hadn't cleaned out that black soot, it would be discoloring all of our stuff. Okay, so I've done that. Now all I need to do is to wash that in dish soap. Some hot water and we're good. Let's clean up our mess. Okay, now we need to remove the label. Now this is what I do. I have a couple things. I make my own adhesive remover. I will give you the recipe for that as well. And take a razor blade because this is still warm. And always remember to cut away from yourself. I got this knife in a kit to clean my glass top cook surface. Although I do have a gas stove, or excuse me, a gas cooktop, electric stove. I have a dual oven. Now I can do that and take it off and actually take most of the residual, but sometimes leave some residual behind. This is one of the benefits of it being warm. Put that to the side, cover my blade. Yes, I know I need a new blade. Now, if there's, oh, you know what? We forgot to hit this part. Now, if you've ever dealt with candles, this tends to be more difficult because it's gone through so much heat. As you can see, it's not peeling up quite as easy. And see all that adhesive there? So we don't really have, let's move that out of the way. Again, sorry for my arms in your way. Next, we want to be safe. Now, this will work, this works best if it's still warm. This is just equal parts of baking soda and coconut oil. That's it. That's it. Take a little bit. This does work if the container is cold, but it works much better if it's warm. And I use my fingers to start out with because the warmth of my hands really helps to, I found, get it in there and do a better job. See, just rub it right in. Works better than any Goo Gone. I have a bottle of Goo Gone I've had for forever, but I never use it because this is so much better. This also will remove, like, if you're wanting to repurpose, you know, a bottle, a container, or something else that has got like the ink date stamp on it. This also will remove that. And then paper towel, and there we go, and it's gone. I'm just going to go over where the label was on the outside. And there we go. As you can see, I already have the lid labeled because this has a future. Oh, and I'm just going to greasy. So, and then I just wash it up with soap and water, and it's good to go for my next project. As you can see, the last one I made wood wax. I will show you how to make that. But this one is going to be body butter. And I'm a little bit OCD, so I like to have my jars match. One tip I would give in doing this, now if you, like I said, if you, this was nice and straight, so it was easy and I could just randomly fill it, but you have a jar like this, it's got a lip to it, your wax is going to get stuck and you're going to have a hard time getting that out. So when you put your water in, really take it all the way to the top, so that way the hot water brings the wax as much to the surface as possible, and it makes it much easier to get out. So this was a candle jar. Yes, it is. I repurpose these for everything, and they're great. I actually won't buy. I have to really, well, I can't say I won't buy if I can't reuse the container, because there's times that I have really, really loved the smell of a candle, and the container that it was in was really ugly and not really useful. But again, I love the smell of the candle, so that's when I will splurge and say, you know what, to heck with the repurposing. Again, like I said, not so granola. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Any suggestions and anything else you'd like to learn about? Hey, hit me up. I'm always ready for a new adventure. So let's repurpose those candle containers. Put them to use. Give them a good repurposing use. So this is Christine with Not So Granola, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon.